course, the Orioles Alumni Autograph Series is going on right now, and every Monday and Thursday during Orioles home games, former players, retired players come by to sign autographs, and a good time is being had by Don Stanhouse, better known as Stan the Man Unusual, and you can see some photos from earlier there with Earl Weaver, and we welcome you back to the ballpark, Rick Dempsey and Don Stanhouse, and you had a good time with the Orioles, I know, in the late 70s, early 80s.
I had a blast. This was, you know, in baseball, everybody seems to think it's work. I had so much fun that it made this part out here easier. When you get to play with guys like Dempsey and Eddie, and I mean, it was just it was a hoot the whole time.
Of course, you got the nickname Stan the Man Unusual.
Now,
tell
how about
us,
full pack? Don't forget that.
tell us about that one, how it came about.
Well, actually, that winter when I was traded over to Baltimore, Earl was a little bit upset with the trade that taken place. I guess he was in Hawaii on retreat or something. I'm not sure, but he was a little upset with that. That here they're bringing in this guy that's going to be a short relief pitcher for us. So, first game he brings me in, I walk a guy. Sal Bando hits a line drive about 4 inches off the ground, right field. Kenny Singleton catches it, throws it to first base for a double play. We do the same thing about 2 days in a row, and I walk in one day, and I'm going, God, I know this is pretty tough. And Mike Flanagan looks, and he goes, "There's Stan the Man Unusual."
He was. He always wore black all the time, drove a black car.
Yeah, did.
Everything. They thought he was a mortician, not a baseball player when he come here.
Well, that's yeah. If you get him far enough to sleep, you might as well bury him. Is the way I look at it.
Absolutely. You know, Stan, you had a pretty good run as the closer for the Orioles for a couple of years there. You know, and now we've got a pretty good closer here with the Orioles right now, and you kind of know what it's gone through. But what do you think it would have been like for you to be able to throw a 97-mile-an-hour sinker like Zach Britton can do? You had the cutter and a pretty good one. But
well, let's put it this way. As wild as I was, you certainly wouldn't put any leather on it.
You got a good point there.
It's amazing to look at it. I mean, everybody's clocked at 95, 97 mile an hour, but it goes back to the old adage, if you throw it in the middle of the plate, these guys can hit it. So it's where you throw it, when you throw it, that makes good things happen. Like I said, we always pitch to situations.
You didn't hesitate to put guys on base if you wanted to pitch around a guy, did
Well,
you?
my philosophy is like this. There's 9 hitters in the lineup, and you only need 3 outs. So you can walk 3 and get 3. It's pretty easy. It's easy math. Why would you pitch to anybody that can hit you?
Of course, you know that going into the game when you're going into there, who the hitters are that can hurt you, right?
Well, you know, I had a pretty good guy back there that'll say, now, I think you can get this one out, okay?
You know, he took 2 years off of my career just by stepping off. He took his time out there, and I think it was part of his program when he came out there was to annoy the hitter to the point where the guy wanted to swing at anything up there to kill him, and he never did. He was right. He never gave him anything down the middle of the plate to hit. So you did get your outs. It didn't matter when they brought you in 5-0, 4-1. It was 5-4 or 4-3 with the bases loaded and nobody out behind you. Decided to get somebody out.
Well, you get him out when you have to.
What was that all about?
Well, you get him out when you can. There's some you can't. That's all I know. But I wouldn't quit on anything. And the thing is that, you know, there's a time and a pitch that's got to be thrown that makes it happen. And I'm the one that has to be in control of that. Now, I know you get tired sitting back there waiting on me, but by the time I'm ready to go, the hitter's tired, you're tired. It works, trust me.
Now, Don, you're very well groomed, but back in the late 70s, early 80s, you did have quite a bit of hair there when we've seen a picture of you there.
It was a little bit different. It's that thing started in Montreal, in old Jerry Park in Montreal. The wind would blow 25 mile an hour, and a guy, another pitcher, Don Critter's wife was a beautician. So we went out one night. We were on retreat. We had a couple of those
Pops.
A couple of those things, and by the time we got to the ballpark the next day, we had both had perms. Gene Mock looked at us, didn't even know who we were. He says, "You two guys are never playing for me, never." So one thing led to another. Then all of a sudden, Oscar Gamble, I ran into him one time, and he had his afro picked out, and I said, "I can do that too." So I picked mine out. I got a picture somewhere of Oscar Gamble and myself with these 2 big afros, and it just kind of stuck.
It was a different period of time, no doubt about that. Don Stanhouse here in Baltimore signing autographs tonight and enjoying